the Meg.TV, bro, because that's where it's at, yo.
That's where it's at, yo.
Calling my shot like Dave.
Almost. He's gone.
No practice swing. Smack the crap out of that one. Yeah, I did. Hit the crap out of that one. Yeah, I did. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of What's Your Issue, where we give the podium to someone and let them tell you what they're all about. Today, we give the podium to my co-host, Mr. Jonathan Skinner. And we're going to let him tell you what he does outside of, like co-hosting the show, what he does in his regular, everyday life. And that's what this is all about, yo. So, Jonathan, let me ask you, what's your issue?
What is up, Pops? Thank you for having me again. Always appreciative to be on the Meg.TV. You guys, we are going to Roku, so he's going to get you these links, and we got to get everyone to subscribe on Roku. But what's my issue? So I am going to get a little bit, I guess, into the origin story, but I want to start with just what's your issue? Because there's, what I do outside of here and what I do on this channel, all of it, it all kind of comes together in creativity, or in the idea and concept of creativity. So what's my issue? I wanted to bring up something that Stan Lee actually talked about in one of the interviews, one of the many documentaries I've watched about the man. And he talked about, like, in his 20s and early 30s when he was married, like they would go to like high-end, rubbing noses with like high-end people, like especially, Stan Lee always being marketing. He wanted to meet movie producers, and when he said that he was a comic book creator, there was like a stigma. And so he started to like kind of lie, like media started to say, kind of darted around it. I'm not gonna say lied, but he tried to always skirt the issue because there is a stigma. And I think that's relevant today to a lot of people who are creators and things like that. Because when it comes down to it, these hobbies, the creative process, it's in itself is extremely beneficial to brain growth and brain healing. Reading is beneficial to brain growth and brain healing. Solving problems is beneficial to brain growth and healing. The reason why is a process that's called neuroplasticity, and neuroplasticity is where your neurons that are in your brain that are delivering dopamine, delivering serotonin to the brain, reading, playing games, solving puzzles, figuring out problems, writing, creative stuff helps to not only form those neurons, but to keep those pathways strong and useful. This is why you hear elderly people who have dementia and things like this, mahjong, because it's keeping the brain active and it's allowing it to heal. And I think in our 20s and our 30s, it's like, especially when you're young, it's like people are all competing against each other in the mating pool and the this and the that. Everyone's trying to one up each other. Once you start to get older, you start to just be yourself and not really care what other people think. And so I think really when it comes down to it, what I wanted to talk about, what the issue is why your hobbies are important, why being a creative is amazing for your mental health, why writing, art, drawing, all of this stuff is it's good for your brain. And even though that there are people who are going to judge you, I went through my 20s. It took me forever to realize to stop telling girls on dates that I'm a cartoonist. Now I'm a content creator, but my 20s and my 30s, that was my goal. I wanted to be a cartoonist, and I used the word cartoonist, and it was like that word came out my mouth, and it was like people stopped talking to me. And there's a stigma. And I remember at one time my mom was getting on me, and she's like, why are you reading all of these comic books? Get you not. I have a stack of books on religion, a stack of books on psychology, a stack of books on computer programming, software engineering. I'm reading all of these books, but that is that other stack of books, that's the comic books, that was an issue. And I'm sitting here thinking, I haven't seen them read a book in years. Like, I'm reading all of these books, but for some reason there's a stigma on this one stack of books as opposed to these other books. And, when it comes down to entertainment, everyone goes to the movies. Everyone watches TV. Everyone watches videos on the internet. What is the difference in reading your entertainment and visual entertainment and static media as opposed to
reading your entertainment? You have to actually use your brain to create the pictures.
Exactly. And people, TikTok and the people have gotten short memories, and so more people are watching TV, but they actually make that that's a more if someone watches what was that mushroom show? Anyway, they watch some show like Fallout or something on TV. That's, they're like, oh, I watched a series on TV, but you read a comic book about it or play the video game, there's some weird stigma. But the point that I really want to get is neuroplasticity is created through using your brain, through using the creative process. People who are creating comic books, people who are programming video games, people who are using their brains on a regular basis, doing creative things, are improving their mental health, and they're strengthening their mind, and they are strengthening their mental health, they're strengthening their mind, and it's just a really good process. And I when I see the stigma of people like, oh, you write a comic book or you're drawing pictures of superheroes, like, but the people who usually have the stigma aren't doing anything. They're watching.
We're going to have you on Killer Karen. We're going to have you explain all this to Karen. That'd be sweet.
Well, you know what? I would love that. Karen is such a riot. She cracked me up. I would absolutely love to have a one-on-one.
Yeah, she could use her horizons broadened. That would be sweet.
Oh yeah, because she's anti-comic book, right?
Yes. That would be the best guest possible to be on the Killer Karen show. Would be a health awareness advocate for comic books.
Right? That would be a really good debate. It's always fun when people are on opposite sides, as long as everyone's nice.
Well, yeah, you got to be able to have civil, discourse about things, man. You have to,
Yeah.
I mean, I got a lot of friends I don't necessarily agree with all the time. That doesn't mean that they ain't my friends. They just ain't quite in the same realm I'm at on certain issues. So what?
Right.
You still go have a good time, pop some beers, do whatever. You can still have a good time together and have good conversation.
And everyone's got their hobbies, and it's different, fishing, I've discovered, is an amazing hobby. Like it's the same deal with that. That increases neuroplasticity.
Doing what?
Fishing.
You go fishing down there? You go out. I didn't know that there was any fishing in Mexico other than
it's
off
not.
the coast.
I'm not going fishing, but I'm just saying that the people's hobbies, the things that they enjoy, the things that they want to do outside of work, are good for them.
What's up, Dustin? Levi? People popping in. What's happening? Good
I
morning.
need to take a moment to apologize for not being on stream yesterday. I rarely miss things. I just did not feel good. I didn't feel good at all, and I slept all day, and I feel amazing today. So I can't wait to see. I'm going to watch tonight and find out what happened to Rita because I'm
Oh,
nervous.
Rita just stayed. She just stayed in the hospital with Kitty because she hadn't been treated yet. The cops arrested
Oh,
Joe.
okay. So I'm not in jail.
No, the cops arrested Joe.
Oh man, I was going to say breaking out of jail sounds fun, but breaking you out of jail sounds fun as well.
We'll see if it gets to that point. What's up? What's up? What's up?
What's up,
Got people in the
Levi?
chat talking to each other and expressing interest in each other's well-being. I like that. That's what this show is all about, right? So,
Right. So
go
I
back to
do want to point out a win I had this week. I've taken a lot of advice from a lot of the comic book guys that I've talked to and Kickstarters, people with your network, and people I've just met over the years about how to do my crowdfund. And everyone is unanimous. Do not do anything until your book is done. And so that's been a struggle, but I just wanted to just do a little bit win. I'm not going to promote anything till my marketing is done and the book is complete, but I paid off the main. We're within weeks to the main book being done, and then me getting the cover after that. So I'm going to be marketing, probably.
okay, now hold on. It's okay to promote ahead of time. They're just saying don't do the campaign until it's done. You can promote the hell out of it.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. Well, shoot. I don't have the art on this one. It's on the phone. I was going to put it into Canva. Let me just peek on my Canva real quick.
Send your phone an invite to this show. Not email, but just send the stream link to your phone, and then you can bring your phone up and share the screen. It's really simple.
So the reason I brought up this whole issue is because I've gotten so much flack in my life because as a creative, as someone who does designs and stuff online, like this is actually my third book I've tried to produce, and the people in my life had convinced me it was stupid twice. And I spent probably $600 to $800 on each project, and I gave up on myself each time. And I can't tell you I still have that art. Those projects might go back and get done, but I had to live with like a little bit of shame because I set a goal to create that, and I let the people around me talk me out of it as if what I was doing was something foolish. And then I go into the research and I find out what I'm doing is actually making me a more efficient human. Because that's
let me tell you something. For 5 years, I've had the people closest to me telling me I should be working at a Circle K.
That's my dad, 100%. If you don't have a job,
I should have a real job with a real paycheck, not create something that gives other people jobs with a paycheck. But that I should be working in, some lowbrow, nothing an hour job rather than building my dream.
And it's the plague of creatives. And I really feel I hate to say it like this, is some conspiracy thing I was reading, but like the Illuminati, it was like an Illuminati thing, but it was like they want separate the wheat from the chaff. They want the cream to come to the top. So they make it hard for everyone on the bottom. So the people with the most determination and can come to the top, and then they can bring the people who come to the top into their thing. Conspiracy theory, don't know if it's true, but the concept is that's really how the creative industry works. It's really hard to be an artist. The starving artist thing is true. It's not a stereotype. It's true. It's hard to make money doing what you love, and it takes time to figure out how to do it. But if you don't do it, you're never going to be able to make that your job, make that your career, make that what you want to focus on. So, really generating these hobbies, whatever it will be, because sometimes you're interested in one thing and then maybe you get an idea how to reinvent the wheel, or maybe that gives you another hobby. In one instance, I had a friend in my D&D group in high school, got interested in D&D, graduated, was really into fitness, but started LARPing, started sword fighting, doing stuff like that. Really got into that, got into martial arts, got into sword fighting. Like Dungeons and Dragons led him to become like a combat person, a gymnast. And I had another friend in a similar situation, but he got into LARPing, and I think he was steroids and stuff, but he became a wrestler. He went from D&D, Vampire the Gathering sessions, hanging out in high school with all the drama kids, to hitting the gym hard, and becoming a wrestler guy. And he's such a character. He's a really great guy. I don't know what his wrestling name is. I think he does real estate these days, but he used that as a stepping stool. So his hobby stepped into becoming his career. And with both of these individuals, their hobby made them get to the gym, work out, take care of themselves and pursue something, so you need to commit, as art. And I know a lot of you professionals that already have, but as the struggling beginner artist, the beginner creative, you need to make a commitment to yourself that your project is important. Don't overextend yourself financially. Don't overextend yourself with time. Stress yourself out. Be realistic in your goals, but set the goal and achieve it. Don't start the goal and then let people discourage you. You don't even have to let people know what you're working on. These comic books I write in the middle of the night, in the darkness. Nobody knows what I'm doing, and then I send it to my artist, and my artist creates the art, and then I show it to people. So, when you're working on something, it's no one has to know, but definitely be aware of the people feeding in to your dream, because it's important to you as an artist to create something. So don't let anyone else tell you it's not important, because it is important for you. And we can, as I explained in the beginning, prove scientifically that this is helping your mental health. It's helping your intelligence. It's helping you in more ways than you could ever imagine. So artists have artistic brains for a reason. So it was just really important for me to get that point out as a what's your issue, because I was discouraged. I know Pops has had people discouraged. I think anyone who's ever been a creative has gone through that and been discouraged by someone either close to them or just strangers on the internet in general, and that's not going to be productive. So I just want to make that point on what's your issue. I do want to go ahead and point out he told me to talk a little bit about my day job and what I do. So I want to get a little bit about that. That kind of gets into my origin story. I did Conservanerd. Y'all might have seen me during 2016 to 2021. I had Conservanerd and Tech Servanerd, where I was talking indie comics. I was reading comics. I was talking politics, and in general, just being goofy. And I went ahead and changed that to a channel that I'm now doing. I switched off of YouTube because I was constantly demonetized and dethrottled because of the content. I moved to Rumble. I've got that, and I'm re-getting this channel called The Daily Apocalypse Report, where I'm just reporting live from the apocalypse and telling you what's happening in the apocalypse today. It is a humorous take. And it's kind of, I'm just kind of autistically blunt sometimes. If you want an autistically blunt take on the apocalypse, it's a good place to go see it. But right now I am working for a brand that I've created. It's called Iboga Talk. I'm raising awareness about mental health and addiction, particularly because of the fentanyl crisis in America. I've teamed up with clinics that help to provide detox and help to provide mental health services to those who are struggling with depression, traumatic brain injury, addiction, anxiety, and PTSD, specifically using a plant medicine treatment called Ibogaine, which is only taken under a doctor's care. This is not something you try on your own. But if y'all want more information about that, y'all can go to ibogatalk.com. I'm trying to break down all the science. And it talks about neuroplasticity. The reason I wanted to talk about creativity and neuroplasticity is this medicine that we work with at our clinics helps to build that neuroplasticity as well, and can really help in depression. We have a lot of artists that take it and just go through a renaissance because it really helps build those neural pathways. So y'all can check that out. You can check me out on TikTok as well. You can also, I'm TikTok, Iboga Talk, the Daily Apocalypse Report on Rumble. My music you can find at Babylon Refugee on Rumble. Yes, I rap. I do. You shall find some of that there. And I play country and blues. So y'all can check that out there at Boga Talk, and of course here on the Meg. And I will be coming out with Skinner Media Productions soon. So let me talk about my comic book. Speaking about not letting people discourage you in the creative process, and the pursuit of neuroplasticity through natural ways, through creativity. This book means a lot to me. I came up with this idea that, as I said, this is the third book that I actually started financially. Hundreds. This all started for me because I would make campaigns and no one would show up at the table. And I got really into Shadowrun. And I was like, Shadowrun's the best. No one's heard of Shadowrun. So no one would turn up for I would have to force people to play Shadowrun. Well, God willing, we should have a Shadowrun stream coming soon when I can get my time organized well enough to be able to sustain that. But no one would show up to Shadowrun. So I created entire Shadowrun campaigns that no one played. So while I was going to school for graphic design and animation, I started creating basically like plots and storylines for Shadowrun cartoons and comics, and trying to with Illustrator and very basic, almost South Park style animation styles, create what I wanted. And I had this vision. I wanted big action. I wanted movement. I wanted nonstop. And when I do my Shadowrun campaigns, I keep the pressure on my players the whole time, because that's Shadowrun. It's intense. You don't really get to break and go to the pub because you're always on the run. And if you're running, you run into some dragons or something,
That's how Tomb of Annihilation was when Max was running that for us. It's like there ain't no market. There ain't nowhere you get to go take a break and sell stuff and anything. It is just constant campaign all the way through the tomb, right?
What game was this you're speaking of?
Tomb of Annihilation, D&D.
Oh, okay. Did y'all stream that?
We did 39 weeks of streaming on that. It's on the Madness Gaming playlist. Yeah.
Heck yeah. If y'all do something like that again, I'm definitely down, because that's how I DM. A lot of people don't like it, especially beginners. And
the campaign that we're doing on Wednesday, we're just starting from scratch with characters. The campaign he wants to do is we got to get up to level 9 first. So we're going to do a couple smaller campaigns and build these characters under NEM's gaming stream, right? But we always have room for another gaming stream, John. We always have room for another one.
I know, and I do. I really do. I'm just trying to really nail down my schedule to make sure. I mean, I've got I'm in here privately right now in my studio, so I can stream at any time. And I've actually put things in place. The big thing is that my phone's been ringing off the hook. So I'm actually going to be giving my phone to one of the other guys. If my phone rings, they can take care of it and even share with them anything, that way. Because that was my thing last week. I'm getting
you got a phone guy?
Do what?
I said, damn, you got a phone guy? I need a phone guy.
Yeah.
Not that my phone rings, but just I need somebody to hand shit off.
Well, I'll be honest. I know there's a lot of AI hate, but I've actually programmed AI to do certain jobs for me that I need to do during the week.
That's different. Look, the creative people that are mad at AI are not mad at AI that does work.
Yeah.
They're mad at people that are scrubbing other people's art and creating fake images off other people's stuff.
And I think
what
Disney
they're mad
took that to court this week. I think that's going to be challenged now, and that might change from what it looks like.
But I mean, they're just mad that people are stealing their art and creating other images and calling it art of their own, right. And it's not. They didn't draw that shit.
Yep.
Yeah. You see Disney what I'm saying?
Midjourney. As of this
I do not consider anything computer generated to be art. I consider it to be computer generated. It's generated with a tool. It's not generated out of somebody's mind with the hand-eye coordination of using a pen to create depth perception and all that, right? None of that shit's present in AI. That's what people.
Share my screen with you real quick, because I think that
share as many screens as you want. You're in charge. You have admin. You can do whatever you want.
Share screen. Hold on. Okay, sorry, I've got a bazillion things. I'm just going to go to what I just pulled up. This. Hold on. So I think that this is going to I think that this case is going to start setting precedents over this with AI. And I think that things like this is what needs to happen. Disney and Universal are suing Midjourney over images so this needs to happen. This is the type of thing that I think can balance, and hopefully, we can, because the thing is AI came too fast for them to prepare for it, and to set in like the laws that already exist in it. So I think we're going to see more cases like this over time. Absolutely.
Well, yeah. I mean, it should have happened right away. Everybody should have went after these image stealers, these art scrapers. They should have went after them and shut them down right away. They let it get way too out of hand, and now they're trying to put everything back in Pandora's box.
Yeah, and that's the thing with technology is even Pandora's box. When you open Pandora's box, you've released the genie. The genie's out of the box, and so trying to get it back in, and it's a hot mess that's actually going to be fascinating over the next couple of years legally to see what all is going on. I think that it's not going to just affect this industry. I think everyone was afraid that robots were going to replace low-skilled workers, that no one realized that the artificial intelligence is taking all the high-paying jobs.
Yeah. Like, they're not the only robots they're building are for war, people. They're not building them for anything else.
Yeah, they want the people to do the low-paying jobs because they don't want us to be uniting and doing
sex bots and soldiers. That's all they're going to make out of robots, sex bots and soldiers. That's it. That's all you're going to get.
Bro, that sounds like an amazing story. I might write a one-shot.
Hold up now. The first time a sex bot fucks somebody to death, that shit's going to be all over too.
It's gonna happen too.
I know.
This sounds like tragic accident, malfunction.
Do not put it on the 10 setting.
Oh, I don't know how family friendly you want this. It reminds me of that Boys episode when that girl crushes the dude's head. That's about all I'm gonna get into the description of that.
It's just horrible, isn't it?
Yeah.
But look, creativity is what this is about, mental health and creativity. And guys, you got to let if you're one of them people with a heavily creative mind, and you got to get this stuff out and get it out and get it seen, that's pretty much why we're all here, is to help you do that. Okay. Because that's part of the mental funk. You make this cool thing and then you put it on Kickstarter and only 10 people fucking back it on the first day. And you're like, man, I did all this work. And we promoted and we did this and this and this. That's where the mental health funk comes from, guys. Okay. Jumping into the deep end of any swimming pool takes a lot of internal constitution. Okay, you have to be able to be ready for failure. You have to be ready to roll with whatever punches come your way, whether it be from crowdfunding or whatever. You have to be ready for everything that goes along with putting yourself out there and asking people to read your stuff or buy your art or whatever. It's like you're putting yourself out there, man, and there's going to be people that are going to take shots at you and pick your shit apart. Okay. You have to be prepared for that. You have to be ready for that. You have to have a true tested way to deal with it. Okay. I started this 5 years ago, man. I used to bark back at every dog that barked at me. Right. Now I just pedal a little faster, leaving behind. You know what I mean? It's like it wasn't good for my mental health to be out there answering to every clown who had something to say about what I was doing.
Other creators' opinions of your art do not matter.
Well, it wasn't even that. It's whatever you do. Like for me, it's building the network. And every shot that I took over what I was doing, you see what I'm saying? It's like you have to be able to field that. You got to be the guy in left field that catches that ball and throws it back right to the plate, gets that guy out, and on you march, okay? On your team marches. You can't stop and get involved in a 6-inning argument with this guy. Throw him out and move on, okay? That's for your own mental health. You've got to be able to leave stress behind. You have to.
Absolutely. And you got to believe
so when you come into this, whether it's doing what I do or doing what Jonathan does, you have to have some kind of, how am I going to deal with this situation when it shows up and that situation when it shows up? Because those situations are going to show up. How are you going to deal with them? Are you going to deal with them in a way that causes you more stress and catch more flack? Or are you going to deal with it in a way where you get to go, yeah, fuck that, I ain't dealing with that. You see, it took me a few years to get to that point where I could go, yeah, he's a clown, move on. Say my one piece, get it out and move on and leave him behind. Stress, people, will kill you.
Oh,
period.
Yeah. Produces
in
cortisol.
Many ways.
Cortisol is a toxin in your body.
Yeah, it will kill you in many ways, man. And I caught myself this week. I joined a Facebook group. I'm trying to find it so I can tell you about it.
Okay.
I joined a Facebook group recently that's a Tai Chi. Dude does a Tai Chi show every week, right? Every Tuesday morning. Now, the show runs at the same time as Lori's show, so I can't be involved live. But I did watch a replay of their show this last week. And yeah, man, I'm a golfer. I'm a 61-year-old golfer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I feel it every time I go golfing the next day. But I'm pretty sure if I start practicing Tai Chi again on a regular basis, I'm not going to feel that fucking bad after a golf round anymore. So guess what? 61-year-old Pops back to the Tai Chi. I did it all through. Look, I did it in prison where you're not supposed to.
You're not supposed to. Because it's martial arts training or something?
Well, because if you speed it up,
yeah, it becomes.
It's all martial arts moves, right? Yeah. But the Facebook group is called, let me get this. Begin and Breathe Tai Chi and Therapy is the name of the Facebook group. If anybody's interested, you can join. It's a private group, but it has 109,000 freaking members.
That's a big private group.
Yeah, that's a big group. I don't know if they just do their broadcast on Facebook, but once I get to know these guys, I'm going to offer them to do the broadcast here too. It would have to be on a replay because same time as Lori's show, But that's what I'm going to do, right? Everybody knows this. Every time I find a good show or a good something, I'm going to reach out to them and go, hey, yo, we could use that show in our network. And we can. It's not just about comic books. Okay.
Well, I will say I had a group chat last night with my core comic bro group. This is like, we're all fans. We met on a Facebook group years ago, and we're all really close. We've never met in person, but we do talk regularly.
Right.
And we had a group chat. We were all on phone together. And now that I know how to work Rumble streaming like StreamYards, they're like, let's just do this every week. So we end up talking every week, but he's like, let's just start talking and recording. And I think we've decided Tuesday night, we're going to just have comic book pop culture conversations. So I'll talk to you about if we want to get that set up on the streaming. It's going to be more fans than creators, just fan opinions. I don't know. It's really just going to be the guys chatting. It's
Right.
probably what it'll be.
Right. Well, I mean, that's how all shows start.
Yeah,
They start with a backstage. They start with a backstage. Hey, man, you guys, we should probably just do this live.
Exactly. We just decided that last night. We all decided Tuesday was a good night, and I know now how this Rumble streaming things work, and I'll talk to you about if we want to get it on StreamYards. I was just going to put it on Rumble. I'm kind of blocked from YouTube until I get my phone turned back on, because I've been using business phones and I haven't turned my personal phone on, so I actually cannot.
You're never
have a phone back on.
You're never blocked off of YouTube because we can put you on 10 different YouTube channels. You never blocked off. We can put you on YouTube right now, whether your YouTube channel works or not. Your show.
Oh, yeah, I was just going to stream the Rumble, and if you wanted to stream it through the network on YouTube, that would be awesome. Because I'm just going to do it on Rumble. I'm focusing on Rumble. I've studied the.
So you can add your Rumble channel to our StreamYard, and we can send you. You can do your show right here in our StreamYard and go to Rumble anyway.
Yeah, I don't know if you're going to want daily apocalypse report because I do get political and I do get spiritual. So I try to keep all of my personal beliefs to that one channel, so you'd have to watch it.
Shows have different places, right? Different shows have different places.
Exactly. So that might be a little too much, but you might like. I don't know.
We do have shows that creep into the political. You can't go. You can't be with Bruce on the loose without going a little bit political over there on Three Beer Men, because he is a advocate of political, being involved in politics, being involved in the voting system, especially at the local level, where it actually matters, right? Where those people actually have some kind of control over your kids at school and whatnot. The local level is where everybody should be voting, because those are the people that really control whether or not you can have chickens in your yard, how much fucking authority the homeowners association has over you and what you're doing. The local level is where people really need to focus. And once you realize that you can change things at the local level, then things can change everywhere else, right? But
absolutely.
You have to.
Bottom up is the way this all goes. Everyone's just concerned about senators, governors, presidents. What we really need to be looking at is our sheriff, our council
school
people,
district, our town councils. Yeah.
They have more effect over your lives than these big dogs ever will.
Yes, exactly. And a lot of people don't realize that. They think it trickles down from the top, but the top changes every 4 or 8 years. The shit in the middle don't. The top changes all the time. The guys in the middle don't. They're the ones that are actually making policy, and they just wait till they get a big guy in charge that'll pick their side.
Right.
You got to change things at the lower level.
I don't know if you remember, Project Veritas was sending out during there was the school council meetings going on, and he was sending out like secret mics for people. And to me, I was like, that is more important than anything done on CNN, is someone wearing a microphone into a city council meeting and then disseminating that information. This is what your local people are saying to you.
I
thought that was
going on in your town.
Yeah, don't let them ban your comic books. No, sure. You know what's funny though is I pulled out my PlayStation. Haven't pulled it out in years. When I got to this new space, and I still have a PlayStation 2 game called State of Emergency. Did you ever hear about this game, State of Emergency?
No.
PlayStation 2. It got released for about a month to 6 weeks before the government banned it. This was during.
Oh shit! I want this game.
Oh, so good. It was in the early 90s, and right after it, Grand Theft Auto came out, and then they were like, it was like after Grand Theft Auto, it was like they couldn't ban games anymore. Like Grand Theft Auto, They fought that, and Grand Theft Auto 1, but this game got banned in like 30 countries, and it is the best game in the world. It's called State of Emergency. You are a anarchist in the middle of a riot having to fight the evil corporations that have taken over the government. And so you're just going around like throwing Molotov cocktails in the middle of riots. They banned and then I watch it on
today.
The news. This is the news.
I watch today. Every day. It's just today on the news, people.
Yeah, but 20 years ago it was like, whoa, we can't have this. But
I do want to go back to what you specifically are doing.
So
as a business and how it affects, how it can help and affect people in comics and entertainment and whatnot.
So as far as in my daily life, working with Ibogaine, I tend to work with a lot of creatives just because a lot of creatives are depressed. Like I could tell you about 70% of the people who come through are musicians, artists, somehow creative. A lot of them have self-esteem, and I'm not living on property anymore, but I can tell you for the past 4 years, I've watched hundreds of people get off of drugs, deal with mental health crises, participated in therapies, participated in being a life coach, and all different degrees. And now I'm focusing on media, education, informing people, but also inspiring people and motivating people. And because I personally dealt with a lot of depression and stuff like this, and self-doubt. And when I finally could see through that, things started to happen and I could make things happen again. So it's really important for me to motivate artists, but also motivate people dealing with mental health crises. Reach out to me at ibogatalk.com. Because honestly, at this point in my life, I want to be the change I want to see in the world. And I'm seeing chaos on television. I'm watching my neighbors fight. I left America because everyone was fighting, just to be honest, and it hurts me. It hurts my soul. It makes me sad. I don't like what I'm seeing in my own country, and instead of complaining about it or burning buildings down or fighting people in the streets, I want to encourage people to motivate themselves to live their dreams, to do the best that they can do, to take on their addictions. The fentanyl crisis is huge for me. I am 45 years old. I grew up during the Plano heroin crisis in high school. We lost 300 students. 300 students from my graduating class died of heroin. This is before the fentanyl crisis. This was only happening in Plano. It was all over the news. Plano, Texas, heroin crisis. Everyone heard about it. I grew up in that. That was my neighborhood. That was my friends. Those were people I know. I'm 45 years old. As far as the homies who made those decisions to go into addiction, none of them made it. I can think of 2 of my friends in recovery from addiction phase who are still alive, kicking it, but they're in recovery and they're kicking butt at it. But a lot of the people, once the fentanyl came around, just drop like flies. I remember I lost one really good friend, and I realized at that point that was the last of the closest friends that I've had, and that in itself and that was during COVID. And I just that was depressing. Wow, like the people who I have confidants, I still don't have confidants, to be honest, today, because the closest people all passed, and that's why I do what I do, is to get people off of drugs, to get people thinking, suicide prevention. There's a male depression epidemic. There's dad supporting dad. There's a divorce epidemic creating parental alienation. Mental health is at an all-time low. TikTok, social media is feeding narcissism and egoism. Like, we are in a mental health crisis as a society, and I've just decided to use my voice and my platform for that. But I'm also a creative, and I also want to be in this space inspiring creatives, and I'm still going to stay up at night and write comic books because gosh darn it, I've been doing that my whole life, and I like it, and it feels good, and it makes me happy, So that's
cool.
Yeah.
And that just inspired me to go ahead and make that move. And I just sent Mr. Potts a message saying I run a network of shows about to launch on Roku. We should talk, because I want that Tai Chi show on our network too. I want things that are going to be helpful to people and good for people. So this is it's all a step in the right direction, I like to think. Having you do this show and talk about what you do with the Boga talk and stuff was kind of like it just seemed like a no-brainer.
It's a little bit different, but I try to tie it to the subject as a creative, because that's something I'm passionate, and that's what I like about the show, and I agreed to do it because I think people like me who were struggling need to have a network of people who are inspiring them and who will buy their stuff, because inspiration's great, but buying products of people you enjoy is so much better. Like,
I mean, look, that's the end game, right? The end game is you want to know that you're making enough money to keep doing what you love to do, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, there's greedy people out there that are gotta have $1 million. No, you don't. You gotta have enough to keep doing what you love to do. That's all you need, because if you're doing what you love to do, everything else falls into place, guys.
Yes.
Everything else falls into place. Somebody came up to me just recently, and they had changed jobs from one that was really stressful to one that, they actually tell dudes, slow down, don't work so hard, relax. And he is, like amazed at how different his life is. He comes home from work. He's not in a shitty mood all the time. He's, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He's like, he even says, hey, life is better since I took a little bit of a pay cut hit and took a job I like, and a job I'm appreciated, and a job where, I don't have to go out there and give them everything every freaking day, to the point where I'm going straight from work to the grave.
Mm-hmm.
Don't work your people so fucking hard they don't get to enjoy their retirement. For fuck's sake,
that takes their health slowly over time. Slowly.
Yes. And he serious business, man. The company he used to work for, he ran all day. He sweat all day, and it's like the company he works at now doing the same fucking kind of work. And they're like, dude, you ain't got to run like that here. Chill out.
Yeah. I have a friend of mine who has had a very similar situation. He'd been struggling with a job for like a year and a half. His first job, he got a job working for a politician as like staff, and he worked for this local politician for like 8-9 years until the politician like brutally got murdered. And he just lost his job one day because his boss didn't exist anymore. And it was very traumatizing. But then he went to local government and he got treated like trash. He was in Chicago and he was working in local government. So all of his job experience was government. And then he was depressed. There was a lot going on, and he was a little traumatized from all this government work. And then he finally got into a job. He got a job at a small company, a small store company. It's a conservative owned company. It's a feed store where his clients are farmers and country people and nice folk. And everyone who works there is just polite. And, he goes to work and everyone's like, we're so glad you're here. And he's like, my entire working career, I've just been treated like trash. He's like, I'm making less money, but I'm appreciated.
Yeah, it makes it look. It's worth more than money to know that the people that you work for appreciate you.
Yes.
That's worth more than money, because down the line somewhere, the bonuses are going to be tenfold what a little extra cash today is. And a lot of people don't realize that. But myself, look, I get to the point where I have an office and employees. Monday morning is going to be the best day of the week for my employee.
Right.
Because Monday morning, we're not going to work. We're going to meet on the golf course. We're going to have brunch. We're going to play golf. We're going to go into a half a day in the afternoon and come back on Tuesday. Nobody's going to have Monday morning funk working for me when I have employees.
Right.
We're not going to have that. We're not going to have that weekend hangover. We're going to go play golf Monday morning. Then we'll go.
Every decent paying sales job I ever had, we started every day with like a celebration, motivation, something to get people pumped up. One job I had that was great, we were selling art out of our cars. They would just fill our car full of art. We go knock on doors. You need a house, and where they're building, where they're building new developments.
There was a place in Phoenix.
Show up at that warehouse, and it would be a rave. And there'd be coffee out. They were health conscious, so they didn't do the donuts or anything, but they would have coffee and bagels and stuff. And it was like party. And we'd go in there and literally dance. And then he'd like give a speech, getting us all pumped up. And then they just distribute art like peace. But I loved that job. It was all on me. Everything, the business had very little overhead because they had the warehouse. That was it. But they got us so pumped and so energized. I loved going to work just because they got me in a good mood every morning. And car sales did the same. They would usually do motivational speeches and watch videos and stuff. Less ravey, but more.
See, but that to me, that's more like, oh, so I got to go to school before work. I don't want that. I want human interaction. I don't want video. I don't want a motivational speech by the one guy that doesn't have to go out and do what the rest of us are about to go do. Okay. Do you see what I'm saying? I see through the bullshit. Like, you know what I mean? I've been in that room.
Everyone dancing was great. Highly recommend.
I've been in that room where the motivational guy tried to get you fired up for the day at work. And it's like, you know what will fire me up? If you come with me and show me your motivation. Show me that you can put this, what you're telling us, to actual action. Come show me. That would motivate me. Don't show me a video. Don't tell me about this stuff you did. Come out here with us and show us. Go out with a different guy every day in your crew.
Right.
And show them what you do. No, if you're going to go back to your office after this speech, I didn't hear a goddamn word you said.
Yeah, those guys would like drop. The big money came from, we'd go where teams just won sports competitions, like after the Super Bowl, and we would have a bunch of art of the team that won. We had art of the team that won and the team that lost. Whichever team won, we just filled our cars and drove there, and the homeboys just stayed in the hotel while we just walked the streets, but I'll be honest, it was like selling, hot tea to Eskimos. Everyone was buying it. It was just easy money. It was just like walking into a place where people didn't care. They were in that celebration mode. They wanted every memorabilia they could get their hands on. And they'll just walk down the street grabbing things people are selling as long as it was their team,
Yep, I get it.
So, can I just give people a little bit? I don't have my art on this computer yet, but can I just give the background, the concept behind my story to the audience and what I'm going to be promoting soon, so they can know what to expect?
Okay, this is what I want you to do. First, I
Yeah.
want you to go over there in the comments and drop a link to a Boga Talk or whatever, to wherever you want people to be able to go, whatever you want people to go look at, drop some links over there.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna do
Didn't
my
have no
Boga
links
Talk
when I
first.
set
I
up the
don't have a
show.
link for my comic stuff yet because I was
No, I'm talking about to all your stuff, your Boga Talk, everything. Put some, because I didn't have any links to put in the description of the show. So drop some over here in the chat. And then you can show whatever you want or talk about whatever you want. That's what this show is. It's not what's my issue. It's not yours.
Daily Apocalypse Report on Rumble. Give me a second, guys. I'm dropping y'all links.
Yeah. Do that thing, and then there you go, people. Go check out what he's doing. Go check it out.
I'm on. I'm coming up, guys, as the Meg because I'm in here as a admin.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. It goes everywhere. It goes everywhere. If you post it in the comments, it goes to Critical Blast. It goes to the Meg TV. See, it goes everywhere we're broadcasting if you put it in the comments. So, well, not everywhere. It doesn't go to Rumble, but I mean, it goes to some of the places.
Yeah. My concept with Rumble is I want to just have several things. I just kind of want Rumble to know who I am. You know what I'm saying? And then go back because I was on you, and you were too. You were on YouTube when YouTube didn't like our type of content, and I just feel jaded by the company because they demoted me when I worked so hard, and Rumble promotes me when I work hard. So.
And not only that, but we've caught YouTube stealing fucking views from us, stealing watch hours from us. They give us a lame excuse that never turns out to be anything true. It's just a lame excuse. It's a canned AI response. And screw all that. And that's a major reason why we're going to Roku is because of the way YouTube has treated us. They steal money from us, plain and simple.
Yeah, and it leaves a sour taste in your mouth.
Yeah. Like last week's stream with Chris, the game stream, was up to almost 100 views, and if you go look at it now, it says like it's got 50.
Yeah.
How? And they say, "Oh, well, those are bots." Well, did you remove the bots from your system? No, because you collected the ad revenue generated by those bots, and then you stole those views from us. Yeah, I know how this works. I totally understand what they're doing, and it's like, yeah, fuck you guys. And as soon as we launch on Roku, hey, what can I tell you? The Madness Entertainment Group YouTube channel will not have near as much content on it.
Right.
Anybody that wants to put their stuff there still can, but I won't be.
I do need to point out another thing I do. I haven't been doing it in a year because I've been moving around a lot. I am an artist. I do draw, but my main art that I sell, and I haven't been making art, and I will be making art, and an art channel. The Real Jonathan Skinner Art was the one I started, but I'm a spray paint artist. I do landscapes, spacescapes, cities. I did a lot of superhero stuff. Actually, let's see if I can get into Instagram and show some of my art.
Why don't you just pull up your Instagram and show your stuff? How about
That's what I'm going to right now. Let's get over here. Instagram. Log in with Facebook. I don't have any of that information. Freak. Oh, can I just view Instagram without having to log in?
Should.
I'm just going to do Instagram.com. Sorry, guys, I didn't have this pulled up. I didn't think about this till right now. It's been so long. Yeah, it wants me to sign in. And I don't have passwords right now.
And that wasn't, you didn't make a link. You just put real Jonathan Skinner art on Instagram, but it didn't come out as a link.
Because
So I can't click on it.
Can I get let me get my links and then come back? Because like right now I can't even get to Instagram on here to get the link.
Well, I'm trying to see if it'll let me look at it. I mean, just trying to see.
It might be the real. I remember I was being really snooty when I made it. I'm like, because people were like being like, you know, it's blah blah blah. So I was like, the real Jonathan Skinner art.
Because there's a dude from Calgary that says he's Jonathan Skinner.
Is there? I did find that someone has put up a fake SoundCloud for me. There is so that someone has taken my music and created a SoundCloud making fun of me. I noticed that recently because I was looking at my old SoundCloud and I was like, oh, who's this jerk who took the worst songs and made it like, you know what I'm saying? Because it was when I was practicing and learning sound audio engineering. Stuff like that.
I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this, man, and it's like it's showing somebody else. It's not you.
Hold up. Give me a second. Where's my phone? It's over here.
It's like, who is this dude? Who is this dude?
All right, guys, we're gonna get this for real. I'm not trying to waste time.
You're roller vegan,
but let's do it. Do what?
There's one called Roller Vegan. That's a Jonathan Skinner.
Heck no. Heck no. Hold on, freak. I need this phone.
There's one called Skin John on Instagram. That's a Jonathan Skinner.
Absolutely not.
There's a Jay Weezy 2825.
Jay Weezy. Oh, hold on.
You're going to need a different handle on Skinner, bro.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking of using my media production group name from now on. Like I said, I want to build that platform this week in order to do the streams. Okay, what am I looking for? Instagram. Hold on, because that would be great if you could pull up my shit. Hold on. Because I put a lot into my art, and it's very unique. I don't know if all my best stuff even went up.
Yeah, it won't let me look at anything yours. It just keeps showing me some other dude.
Real _ Jonathan _ Skinner _
art. Yeah, that's what I post. That's what I put in there.
Art. Yeah, artist, writer, sales wizard, free thinker, nonconformist, entrepreneur.
Not seeing that one. You're going to have to give me an actual link to it. Copy and paste the link.
I'm going to copy and paste it and send it to you in...
Because that real Jonathan Skinner art on Instagram brings up somebody else. It doesn't bring up you. That's what I'm saying.
I'm...
if you search that...
Right now, I'm going to send it to you... Sharing. Okay, that has nothing to do with what I'm trying to do. That's sharing options.
Just copy the link, put it right in the chat, bro.
Well, I can't do that this way because I'm on my phone and this is on my computer.
Copy the link and send it to me on Facebook.
Yeah, I'm literally trying to do that right this second, and there's no share, copy. There's none of those things.
No, on your phone, you just kind of like hold down on it. It'll give you a copy paste option.
That's what I'm trying.
Just copy it and then paste it into the Facebook chat.
It's not doing that. What's this? It's wanting me to install threads. Let me go back one here. Jeez. Man, I'm sorry. This is not going to happen right now. I'm going to do this. I'll have it prepared for next week. Yeah, I'm going to have to find another way to do this. I don't want to waste our 48 people don't want to watch me play on my phone. But do you mind if I go ahead and break down the
What fucking email address is your Instagram attached to?
JL Skinner TERA at yahoo.com. Should be.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any of those. I see a whole bunch of Skinners up here, but ain't none of them you. Makeup artist, tattoo artist.
I'll go ahead and restart because I'm planning on building a new platform. I've built like 3 platforms in the past 6 months, so it's like one at a time, you know. But the story that I'm working on, it's called The War for Christmas. I'm really going for the aesthetic of the 80s war genre, like the war comic books where you're seeing the soldiers. There's some talk about, like, the generals are talking about what's going to go on, but then you just see it from the soldier's perspective. I really wanted it to be a really honest, realistic war story, and I definitely wanted horror aspects. So as far as the writing, this is a war story and a horror story. As far as the visuals, it's the same, but it's also a comedy because of the story itself. So there is comedy in it, but I really wanted to go with that liquid television, early 90s, edgy, pushing the boundaries of animation and social bounds, even though there is no bounds anymore. I really like Eon Flux when that came out, and even the Spawn cartoon. Like, that's what I was really wanting to go for in the delivery, and in the writing. I just really enjoyed Vietnam movies, and I've always liked war movies. And one of my big influences growing up, my first anime I ever saw was Robotech. And I was such a Robotech stan. I loved how the story would go through an entire battle, and show what different people were doing during the battle. It would take many episodes to kind of show the entirety. And another franchise that did that I enjoyed a lot was G.I. Joe. So those, as far as the influences, I really was influenced by G.I. Joe, Robotech, 80s war movies, and 80s B-movie horror. So the name of the story is called The War for Christmas. The plot is that Santa Claus, or as I call him in my story, the Godfather Claus, the Godfather of Christmas, he has created the North Pole and the entire civilization there using the power that he's gotten from the Christmas spirit. He's a manifestation of another realm that exists in our realm by creating this Christmas spirit and maintaining it. And so it's not like he's just selfless and he's giving the kids of the world toys. He's mining the Christmas spirit off of these children's greed and ego. So he's literally a demon that feeds off of greed, whose only power comes from that greed over it. So basically, the Christmas spirit is like oil in this story. It is a resource that this entire culture and society needs to run, and it's running out, and it's been running out for years. And the reason it's running out is because of Amazon. And I think I'm going with Amazon, just to change it a little bit, because I do want to sell this on Amazon. I'm going to have to hide some things, change words. Jeff Bezos is going to be spelled with the G. But Amazon, now I've got to start out. This is 3,000 years in the future. And at one point, 1,000 years ago, when they passed Citizens United, they made corporations people, as far as business law goes. Well, in this world, now they've taken personhood from people, and only corporations are people. So basically, everyone who was living is either owned, is basically a corporate slave, and these corporations are run like royal houses out of Dune. This is basically Chick-fil-A has a military, a court system. Amazon has its own military, has judges, has its own media. People are just learning, are basically their lives are controlled by these machines. And so these are the soldiers, the cogs in the wheel. And, you know, the generals are, you know, the managers for Amazon. So basically Amazon is this powerful monolith of robotic terminators, and they are stealing this Christmas spirit. And in order to save himself from annihilation, Santa has to go to war. He puts the elves making war machines instead of toys, and he does what he has to do to save his people. And the resulting war gets all of the corporations in. I've got McDonald's, you know, corporation that's really bizarre. Basically, I'm taking satire on all of these companies, of course. And beyond that, there is the powers of the government, which the United Corporations of America is ruled by the president, Reverend President, definitely not Satan, and his demonic legions. And the mafia that is running the underside has been infiltrated by angels. So I've got an angelic mafia, a demonic government, and Santa Claus is basically North Korea gone full blown. And that war creates chaos. And I've got 3 series. There's at least 12, if not more, in this first book series. I've gotten the first 3 written, first 7 books storyboarded all together, but it's wild, it's entertaining. I'm really going for that 80s aesthetic. I'm going to try to, I mean, my elves look like 80s cartoon characters, while like my monsters look like 80s movie monsters. I want that to really get that 80s feel throughout this, but I really, ultimately, I'm writing a war story. And this whole thing is satire, political satire, but it's nothing on this book is on the nose. I went really hard to almost make this like South Park, you know, where if I'm trying to get to something, it's just so outrageous that you're like, oh, this is just fucking ridiculous.
That's what we want. Look, if you're going to do satire, do obvious satire, right? Make sure it's so over the top that everybody knows it's satire, because shit's so fucking weird out there today. Half the time you don't know if they're fucking lying or not.
Is it the Babylon bee or not the bee? Nobody knows.
Exactly. Shit's so fucked up now you don't even know. So if you're going to do satire, be over the top. Be all the way over the top.
I can show an example of terrible on the nose satire that I read recently. And I'm not gonna lie, I thoroughly enjoyed this book, but it was the 2014, 2015 Howard the Duck run. Trump was running for president at the time. The election hadn't happened. And Howard the Duck goes on some interdimensional thing, and then he ends up coming back to what he's hoping is his home dimension, and he walks up to his friend Tara, and she's like, who's the president of the United States? And she's like, Donald Trump. And he's like, what? And she's like, I'm just joking. That would never happen. Ha ha ha. And I read this like during the Biden administration, like it did not hold up. Like now he's been elected twice. 2 on the nose. Yeah. Be discreet.
But be funny with your satire too. Don't do satire as a shot.
Guys,
don't try to take shots at people with your art and your comic books and shit. Because that eventually that's a short-term sale. That's not a long-term sale, because people are gonna realize eventually that you did that out of hate and not out of inspiration, and it's not gonna sell.
Yeah. And it's just bad faith. I have to say, before I got into the ibogaine industry, I was in another industry. I was in the kratom industry, which now I actually get people off of kratom. That wasn't as good of an industry as I thought it was at the time, but at my time, I was like trying to help people. But what I loved about that industry is there was no competition. everybody in that industry worked together. There's the Kratom Association, which was a political pact. We all donated to that and had meetings. I knew every owner, CEO, manager in that industry. Everyone, we would call each other and talk. No one in that industry looked at each other as competitors. So when I get into other industries and it's like us versus them, we're fighting for the money, I don't know. It's foreign to me, and I don't know that it's productive overall.
Well, it's not. Look, you think the guys in NASCAR, you think all those garages get faster and faster and faster by not sharing innovation and ideas?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, of course they do. It's called co-opetition. We want the product as a whole to be good. So that means everybody's got to be competitive. Okay. Now, granted, there's new teams. They don't have as much money and money in research and development, and they're not there yet. They're young drivers, whatever. But the whole point is that they all work together to help each other. If one of those teams has 3 crewmen down with the flu, you know what happens? Some guys from some other teams come over and help them do their pit change, guys. You know, exactly. It's like, it's co-opetition. You got to work together for the industry as a whole to become better in order for your book to get seen in front of more customers or potential customers. Y'all got to work together. You have to.
I've studied a lot about the creative economy. I don't know if you've heard that term before, but it's basically like the influence streamer economy and how it works. And it's like, the key to the creative economy is collaboration. I don't know if you've noticed on like your shorts or whatever, there's always like 1 or 2 comedian guys that do funny TikToks, and they've got like 4 or 5 OnlyFans girls, and they're all doing funny TikToks together. But each, the comedians getting the fans from the model, mm-hmm. And like everyone's sharing views from it, and it's a win-win for everyone. I think the fast food house is another one. It's just a bunch of people who have different things, and then they play characters on the show. It's a collaboration.
The madness, just like what we did with
exactly what we're doing here. Everyone's coming together.
We did with Lunatics Fringe last weekend. We went and played golf. We promoted a bunch of stuff using those shorts. We used those shorts. I'm even using one of those shorts as an intro for some shows now because it was funny.
That was hilarious.
I
saw the photos too. I was like, you're having fun today.
Oh, dude, we had a blast. And that's exactly what we're talking about. That's a rock band out of Chicago. And dude came into town and we went and played golf together. And then we went to Hall of Heroes Con together. And we had a blast, and we played golf in character. I was not Pops, and he was not his real name, which I'm not going to tell you. He was Mr. Fringe, and I was Dante's Inferno from Killer Karen, and we had a blast. Okay, having fun, doing things that are fun, that are entertaining. I hope to do more of that kind of stuff in the future. But it is collaboration, and it is co-opetition, and it is working to help each other get seen. If the only person you're working for is you, your only fan base is the one you have. It's not going to grow. If you're not bouncing off other people's fan bases, doing work with other people and trying to get your foot in the door of their fan base, if you're not working, networking, you're going to be stuck in that one spot forever.
Correct. Yeah, and I saw a meme this week, and it made me laugh so hard because it was so true. It was like you wrote your first book. Welcome to being a marketer.
Yeah,
true. And so I'm a Stan Lee fan. Highly admit I've been the Marvel Essentials. I was reading I got a bunch of these about 10 years ago, and I've slowly been going through them. So I only read like 1 or 2 a week, but all of the essentials I've got are all original Stan Lee, Jack Kirby. And because my goal was I'm going to read as much of the Stan Lee and Jack Kirby stuff. Stan Lee he hits it out of the park sometimes, and sometimes you can tell he was meeting a deadline. He's not consistent in his writing as a creator. But what Stan Lee was he didn't stop working. Whether he felt it or he didn't felt it, the book came out, but he constantly marketed. There was a point that he stepped away from the company altogether to let other writers and artists, and he moved to LA and he full-time became a marketer. That's where he got the Spider-Man cartoon from, the X-Men 97, the X-Men Fox series, eventually the Disney deal, because he was a marketer and he never stopped marketing. He never stopped pushing his product till the day he died. And it's sad that they took advantage of him at the end, but
and that's all I try to do.
Even
that's all I tried to do since I started doing this is be the marketing arm for some indie comic creators, for as many as wish to be part of what we're doing, right? You guys don't have time to put together shows all the time, okay? You don't have time to build something like this. You're writing a book. You're drawing a book. You're editing a book. You're whatever, right? Whatever part of the process you're in. The marketing part is the most important after the completion of the book. The most important thing is getting out there and getting seen. Now, there are a few platforms like ours that promote people. Okay, Red Valkyrie over there on YouTube, they do a great job promoting. There's a few, right? The indie, my friend Nita over there at the Indie Comics Network, okay, they're awesome. Okay, they do the same thing we do. They promote. Sometimes we bounce off each other. Sometimes I see something she's promoting I didn't know anything about, and I'll grab that link and I'll share it out too because it looks cool, and y'all might want to see it. And that's the whole point of marketing, is getting the product in front of people who might want to see it. If you're not promoting your book in all of these groups, if you're mad at Pops and you don't want to promote in the madness, you're shooting yourself in the foot. Don't worry about Pops. Promote your comics. Promote your product. I don't tell you you can't, not unless you really done something to deserve that, right? I mean, I promote pretty much everybody unless they're out there trying to shoot down what I'm building, which is to help them.
Right.
You know, I mean, if I'm trying to help you and you're out there shooting me down behind my back, I'm probably not going to help you much in the future when I find out about it. You know, but I'm willing to promote and help everybody in that one aspect that most comic creators know nothing about, and that's getting seen. They go on Facebook and they go on X and they think, I'm done my job. I got an Instagram. I post things on TikTok. Yeah, but do other people post your stuff outside of your circle?
Yeah.
That's the question. Are you collaborating with enough people that your stuff gets outside your circle?
That's and are you making enough posts? And what?
Well, I mean, but that's what this is about. We fill that gap for you. If you're not making enough posts, well, hell, go look at Noon Today. We posted a short from one of our previous shows that brings attention back to it. Is anybody else doing that for you? You see what I'm saying? It's like we actually do what we preach. We actually go out and do it afterwards. I share people's stuff. I do all that. That's why it's a no-brainer to be associated with networks like ours, with networks like Nita's, because we're going to promote the hell out of you. We're going to get you seen outside of your bubble. We're going to get you seen on Twitch and X and Twitter and Pilled and Rumble and freaking everywhere, man. You know, it's like you got to all work together and you got to work with people like me. You know, that's marketing. That's marketing. It's not, oh, I bought an ad on Facebook. You know how many actual Facebook promoted comic book ads I see?
Very few.
Not that many. I see a whole bunch of, we'll help you get seen. Our SEO is blah, blah, blah. And that's an ad. And I don't pay any attention to any of those because I don't see them actually doing it.
organic grassroots traffic is always going to be inferior to ad promotion because the ad is going to play to everyone. Organic interest, people are going to find you naturally because they were interested already when they went looking for content like yours.
And those are the people that are going to subscribe to you and follow you and back your book. It's not going to be that any normie that's seen that ad. Most of them scroll right past it. My point is, I'm on Facebook pretty much all day because I'm watching what's happening and who to share for and what's up, right? I rarely see ads for your actual comic book or anybody's actual comic book. So if you're buying those ads, stop, because they're not getting out where you want them to get out, I promise.
I've always gotten, and I've always gotten my promotion, like when I was interested in indie comics, through Facebook groups. Which is weird because I don't
groups. Yes, not ads, groups.
Yeah, it's not ads. It's always groups. It's like-minded individuals who come together, and then someone shares some content about whatever they're working on, and that catches my eye. And I'm in that group because I've already got interest in that group. You know,
and you set up your page, right? You set up a page for your product because you want to be cool like everybody else, and then you realize that in order to get this page out and get it seen, you got to pay Facebook. They're not going to promote anything out of your page if you're not giving them extra money.
Yes.
Okay. So your page is basically pay us, and then we might promote your ad that you paid for.
Yeah.
Pay us, and we might do that.
For marketing anyway.
Right. It's like, look, anybody who's ever paid us for any kind of ad marketing or to play their ad got played. Their ad got played a lot. I ain't never had anybody come to me and go, man, you weren't playing my ad at all, bro. I paid you, blah, blah, blah. No, we don't hear that. We play your ad. You get involved in our sponsorship program, and you're going to get seen on our network, and our network is growing every day.
Yeah.
So what can I tell you? It's marketing is, like I said, the second most important thing to the product. And that doesn't matter what the product is. It don't matter if it's dish soap. It doesn't matter what it is. If nobody knows about it, nobody's buying it.
And you got to believe in your product for other people to believe in it too. That's the second most important, is you got to believe in this product. If you're not
telling everybody, why would anybody else? See, that's the whole thing. I get people, they're like, why don't you share out my stuff? I don't see your stuff. Put it where I can see it. Post it in my group. Yeah. Post it in my Facebook group. I'll share the hell out of it. I do for everybody that posts in my group, right? Put it where I can see it. I'm not out looking for everybody's stuff. I'm too busy to be out looking for you. Oh, I wonder if Jonathan has anything to promote today. I ain't got time for that. Put it where I can see it. I know Jonathan is promoting that today.
You should just set up an AI to stalk creators. AI, tell me when this creator does something.
Well, see, we're one of the people. We're one of one of those networks that will do all that without the AI.
Right.
Put it where I can see it, and I will help you get seen more. I will extend your reach. And that's the whole thing. If I put something out there, do me a solid, share it out, and extend my reach.
Yeah. I want to shout out my buddy Frank Brosell, who has been working on his tabletop game. Excuse me, his tabletop TTRPG game for years. This is the 3rd edition, and he's actually getting it on Amazon right now. He's going straight to Amazon. I don't think he's crowdfunding. But he's someone who I've watched this guy work on this and refine. I've played several games with him as he was working out the system. And he's got the whole system now. He's putting it into Roll20 right now. And so when he releases the book, there's going to be a Roll20 system with it. And it's taken him 15 years to do this, but he is about to do that. And, we'll...
Okay, are we going to run a demo and all that on the network and play the game on the network?
Definitely. I'll help him. I'll help him, give him some marketing, and then connect you to when he's ready to run that. But I'm sure he's going to love that. But, I love seeing the homies win. And I like seeing when artists finish something. I used to suffer.
Well, I
from
mean, for him,
procrastination.
it's the game, right? For him, it's the game. For me, it's getting the game seen. Okay,
Exactly.
that's that. Okay, so he does the game. He puts it up on Amazon. He's doing well. People are buying it. All that. I want to go out there and make sure my people know about it. Make sure the people that follow us know about it. Make sure they see it. But we take it to the extreme. We demo it. We play it on stream. We show people how much fun it is.
Oh yeah.
The ultimate sale is showing somebody how good something is or how much fun something is.
Right.
Those are the selling points of anything. How good it is or how much fun it is. Nobody sells anything that's no fun and bases the marketing on how much not fun it is. Do you understand what I'm saying? Those are your marketing points. Is it a good product? Is it a fun product?
You know, that just makes me think of Garbage Pail Kids. Like, this is the grossest product you could buy. It's disgusting.
Right? Pet rocks. There was a whole bunch of stupid shit. We know. I mean, there's still stupid shit. You're going to see that, especially in kids' toys, like the little poop squishies and all that. There's always going to be stupid shit. Somebody's going to take advantage of that. But would that have sold without marketing?
No.
No, they marketed that to kids. They made a goddamn poop emoji on social media.
They made a poop emoji movie, did they not?
Or
an emoji movie that had the poop emoji as a character.
That's what I mean. It's like, there's always going to be stupid shit. But it doesn't get famous. Or it doesn't become a selling point without marketing.
Right.
You can market anything dumb to kids. They're going to love it. It's going to be funny. They're going to giggle. They're going to laugh. And that's what a poop emoji was.
Yeah.
It was something they could laugh at, right?
Yeah. I eventually do, and this is not going to be my next project, but at one point I definitely want to do something like a series for kids. It'd probably be shorter, like 10 minutes animations or something, but I do want to throw my head in the wreck of Saturday morning cartoon at one point. I'm not ready for that yet. I'm doing mentally smarter things right now for more adult people.
Right. Yeah,
definitely. I can't wait to throw my head
mental health awareness. That's really what Jonathan's doing is all about. You guys, if you have, what am I looking for? What's the word? If you have self-esteem issues, stuff like that, okay, these are the kind of things that Jonathan's helping with. That's what he's doing. The iBoga Talk, that's what that's all about. You guys get behind helping yourself. Go check it out. There might be something there that can be helpful to you.
I want to shout out someone else I'm actually working with and I am affiliated with, and I'm putting it into the chat right now. This is started by General Flynn and Boone Cutler. They're called SpartanSword.org. Should be in the comments. And these guys are warriors helping warriors. It's veterans and first responders. They specifically are a suicide prevention and mental health outreach. They help veterans, police officers, ambulance people who have suffered from PTSD, suffered with mental health, get mental health treatment. If you are a veteran or a first responder and you're looking for help, Spartan Sword, you can reach out. There's not a staff of this. That everyone who works with Spartan Sword is either a veteran or a police officer who has received help, who's helping others, like NAAA, but for first responders. And I really love these guys. I've met the people, even the famous ones, and have talked to them, and I know what they're up to, and they're helping each other. So if anyone's a veteran looking for mental health, anything that you can't get from the VA, these guys are amazing.
You said General Flynn, right?
Yes, sir. General Flynn, Boone Cutler. They're the ones who started this organization. Yes, sir.
Hey, anytime you want to come out and
General
bring
Flynn.
General, anytime you want to bring General Flynn out on the show and talk, you're more than welcome. We will open the fucking network to him.
Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna have to.
We can
see-
say, "Hey, Mr. Flynn, what's your issue?" And he can start talking about Spartan Sword, and we'll go from there.
You know what? I might be able to get one of the guys from Spartan Sword for sure. I might be able to get Boone. I don't know. I'll reach it out.
This is what this show is about, though. So, you are more than welcome. You are the co-host. You reach out to whoever you want, and bring out people on the show that are interesting. That it's not all about comics, this show, all the time. See what I'm saying? Everything on the network can't always have to be about comics.
It's hard to have content when you got X amount of comics being made.
We do love our comics, ain't gonna lie.
Hey, but y'all do reach out to us in our DMs and everything if y'all do want to be a guest on this show, because we love to have guests to interview. And if you've got a product or anything, we want to promote it. Do what?
Yeah. What's your issue?
What's your issue? Reach out.
Bring it out. If you got something you want to talk to the world about, bring it out here. Right? That's how we do it. Jonathan, I got to skedaddle, bro.
Yeah, I got plenty on my plate too. So I appreciate it. I do apologize for not showing up yesterday. I will be there next week for sure. Apparently that's our last game. I'm kind of sad about that, at least for that series.
Not necessarily. It depends on where we take it. We thought the last two were going to be the last game, and we went to the graveyard. Some shit happened. You'll have to go watch the episode, okay?
I'm gonna watch it tonight. I'm definitely gonna do that. It's on my list of things to do today.
And then you'll know where we're at going into next week. There you go. Awesome. We're going to play some ads. We're going to get out of here because now we play ads at the end of the show because we're getting Roku ready. We're getting all the shows Roku ready. So thanks for watching. This show has been brought to you by the following awesome people. Peace, everybody.
See you guys.
Hey!
In the heart of a major city, in a place raised to honor Earth's past protectors, the world will again learn, sometimes, superpowered intrigue doesn't stop at the grave. Galaxy Memorial Park, Volume 1, beginning crowdfunding Memorial Day 2025.
I'll tell you, I'm at Steel City Comic Con. You're watching me at Madness Comic Network. What a crowd.
Hi, I'm Lori Calcaterra from the Tuesday Morning Brew, and I have a hot take for you. My friends, I am tired of remix, reboot, recycle, sequel, prequel. Aren't you? Like, where is all the new stuff? I want to know what's new in comics, in movies, in novels, and music. But for that, my friend, you gotta go to indie. Here on the Tuesday Morning Brew, we like to go right to the source. I interview indie creators, writers, artists, musicians, novelists, actors, you name it. They're all on the show, and it helps us keep a pulse on what's new, what's poppin', and what people are passionate about. Join us on Roku every week and other platforms live on Tuesdays. And no matter if you're drinking coffee, tea, or the tears of your readers, make sure you tune in to the Tuesday Morning Brew.